It's Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances and save an additional $1,000 when you buy 4 select LG major appliances. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5 amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Get the job done for less at Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 9/26. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
Doug.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome to the Whispering Woods Reddit story episode. I've got 3 spooky stories to share today. I'll get straight into it. Are you ready for the first story? I was just talking to my retired sailor uncle, who told me a story I felt was perfect for this subreddit. My uncle used to work on board the Great Lakes freighter, the SS Arthur M. Anderson, and they would haul iron ore and limestone across the Great Lakes. One day, at around 7 p.m. in November 2007, they were crossing Lake Superior on their way to Cleveland, Ohio, when they started receiving distress calls on the radio from an unknown vessel claiming to be the SS Edmund Fitzgerald. The SS Edmund Fitzgerald famously sank in 1975, taking all 29 crewmen with it. Well, he said, at first, they all thought it was some kind of distasteful prank, until they checked the radar and found that there were no other ships around for at least 70 nautical miles, and the range on the radios was only 60 nautical miles. He said that the voice they heard from the radio described a heavy storm with high winds, and they were having a hard time holding their own. My uncle said you could hear true fear in the man's voice from over the radio. But the thing was, there was no storm at all. In fact, the water was calm and the night was clear. My uncle describes the distress calls on the radio coming to an abrupt stop at around 8 p.m, leaving the whole room in a terrifying silence. The radio stayed quiet for the rest of the night. Nobody could sleep that night, haunted by what they had witnessed. When it comes down to it, there is a sense of irony in this event, being as not only is the ship my uncle on, the SS Arthur M. Anderson, the sister ship to the Edmund Fitzgerald, but it was also the last ship to make contact with the Edmund Fitzgerald in 1975 when it sank. Could my uncle and his shipmates have actually made contact with the ghosts of the Edmund Fitzgerald crew? Or could there be another explanation for this event? We'll never know. But it made one of the creepiest stories I've ever heard. I do love a seafaring story. Awful tragedy about the ship. And I love the concept of voices coming through from years ago. There are loads of stories about it, and I think I'll delve into it in one of our main episodes at some point. Because you also have those sort of telephone calls that come through from the dead. We've briefly touched on that sort of thing. But the sea is so vast and so unknown, well, what lies beneath it is. And Toby finds the sea really scary. Neither of us are strong swimmers, and that may be part of the reason why. Toby seems to think that he drowned in a past life, which interestingly, actually, I had a conversation with Rog and my daughter Maisie the other night, and we were watching a paranormal documentary, some celebrity thing, and he mentioned that he used to have these reoccurring dreams when he was young about being burnt, as in on the stake. And he had them for an awful long time, and he's convinced that he was burnt as a witch. And I was like, well, you've never told me this before. Bearing in mind that he probably has, and I've forgotten him because my brain is mush. But yeah, if anybody else has had anything like that, I'd love to hear about it. Right, are you ready for the second story? It was late at night. I was using my phone in the living room when my mum appeared from behind me. I was on the sofa and she stood behind it on my right side, so I could see her in my peripheral vision. She said something pretty simple. Go to bed. I said, I'll go later. She responds, no, you must go now. I respond, fine, just a minute. The second whatever that thing was turned around to leave, I felt my blood go cold in my veins, chills down my spine and a horrible feeling of dread. My thoughts kept going. That's not Mum. That's not Mum. That's not Mum. So I immediately got up to catch it. It ran away, so I chased it down the corridor. It ran to my mother's room. I was right behind it, so I turned the lights on. My mum was asleep in bed. The thing is, when she walks, she makes a lot of sound. That thing made none. And her bed at that time was super creaky. There's no way she got in it without making any sounds. Anyway, when I turned the lights on, I saw my brother in the room. I asked him if he came to the living room. He said no. I asked him if Mum got up and left the room. He said, I've been watching her the whole time because I'm using her phone and don't want to get caught. She didn't even get up. So I was mortified. But that thing that took my mum's shape and voice was insisting I go to the bedroom. So I did. When I entered, I saw my sister on her bed. She was sitting up with her blanket around her. The first thing she told me was, thank God you came in here. This whole time I kept hearing knocking under both our beds, and it stopped the second you came into the room. I still can't tell what the hell that was. There were no gas leaks and I wasn't sleepy because I'd slept the whole day and woke up for the night. I'd hate to have a double mum. That's terrifying, the thought in itself that you've got somebody who can metamorphosize, or some being that can metamorphosize into your mum, your most trusted person in the world. Well, they should be. I'm not sure if the double mum was malevolent or if it was just trying to draw the writer's attention to something going on in the bedroom with the sister. Spooky. And what was going on with the beds? I swear once I felt my bed vibrate, and it could have been an earthquake. But you know when you've been like half asleep and you can feel it vibrate or like moving? Or is that just me? Right. Are you ready for the third and final story? I grew up in a very old house in the Midwest that my parents got for a steal. It was originally built as a hotel, and the seller was very motivated to get rid of it. Growing up, weird little things happened all the time. The typical malarkey that is easy to ignore for years and years. Footsteps, strange shadows, the feeling of being watched or followed, swearing you see someone in the room right as you wake up. The room in the basement that chills your blood every time for no reason. The occasional hard-to-explain moments. I moved to the West Coast in my 20s for school and self-discovery. During a visit from my family, my sister told me that they had met a ghost in the house. I was pretty sceptical, but my entire family backed her up. She was in her room and her radio had been acting up. So just on the off chance, she said, "Okay, if you're a ghost, could you just please stop it?" The radio turned off. She waited a moment and then said, "Wait, if you're a ghost, turn it on." And the radio turned on. After some experimentation, they devised a system of communication. Volume up was yes, volume down was no. The digital readout on the volume was 0 to 30. So 1 was A, 2 was B, 3 was C, and so on. If the radio turned off, then it was a sort of hard no, or off-limits question. Through this system, the ghost had explained that he wanted to be called Jason. He had died in the house in 1905 at age 5, when he was sick, and he lived in the house alongside us, with his kind of mother and evil father. When they asked if he loved his father, the volume went to 0 and turned off. In fact, he refused most questions about his father. Apparently he was the cause of the more malevolent experiences that people had had in that house. I was definitely intrigued and went back home that year to visit for a chance to experience this for myself. However, when I arrived, Jason refused to interact with me. I would leave the table and the radio would pop on. My sisters would call me back and the radio would turn off instantly. He didn't want to have anything to do with me. As I thought about this, I remembered an experience I had before moving to the West Coast. I'd been lying in bed one night when I felt a hand ruffle my hair playfully. I freaked out. I shot out of bed, turned on the light, puffed out my chest, and overconfidently yelled, "You don't know who I am or what I'm capable of. If you try that again, you'll regret it. Don't you dare mess with me." And then several picture frames on my desk flew off onto my floor belligerently. I stayed at a friend's house that night. One night on my trip, after Jason refused to talk to me, I spoke out loud. "Hey, I'm sorry if it was you who I yelled at that one night. I bet you were trying to play or introduce yourself to me and I got scared." I didn't need to be so mean to you, and I understand if you don't want to talk to me. The radio turned on. Hey, are you the Jason I have heard so much about? The volume went up. Did I shout at you that night before I left? The volume went up again, and then went back down to a reasonable level. I'm sorry about that. Can we be friends? The volume went up again. It was incredible. He'd introduced himself to several family friends as well. To prove he wasn't some sort of hacked radio, he would do additional tasks. He would ring our doorbell. He would push crayons around on the table. He even did a really incredible trick for us. You see, while asking about the logistics of being a ghost, he had volumed up that he could travel anywhere almost instantly. To test it, we called up a family friend on the West Coast. This friend put out a newspaper on their kitchen table. Jason then visited them and came back to set the volume to the date of the paper. The radio turned off for a moment, then seconds later, it set the volume to 17. The friend said, so close, the paper was for the 18th. But Jason was not convinced. Volume up, volume down, 17. Volume up, volume down, 17, 17, 17, 17. The friend checked again and apologised. Oh, he's right. I misremembered. It's the paper from the 17th. He refused to answer any questions about God or religion. He gave us a few answers that contradicted as well. He told us he didn't need to sleep, but he had told my sister a few months earlier that he did. One thing he seemed to know was how long he would be there. Through the volume Ouija system, he told my sister he would be around until her 28th birthday. Then his family would move on to the next phase. At the time, this was a couple of years into the future. Sure enough, we never heard from him after that. During this time with us, he would occasionally visit our dreams. We would have these extremely realistic dreams, where a boy in a white hooded robe would say hi to us, ask to play hide and seek with us, or ask us questions about ourselves. Then he would confirm with my sister that he had visited us. He used the radio primarily, but in the final year, he got better at manipulating other electronics. He could make printers print messages. He could manipulate televisions. He even sent us texts in the last few months. My mother had texted me, "I see you, haha," when I was back in the West Coast a couple of years after all of this. I texted her back, "Did you come out here to visit? Where are you?" But she was confused. She said she was in the Midwest at home, and her phone had no evidence of sending a text with that message to me. I texted back, "I think Jason sent me a message. Hi, Jason." And I got a reply, "Hi," again, not from my mum. My sister even once got a call with a picture from Obama and the caller ID saying Mr. President. But there was nobody there when she answered, and apparently no callback number. The radio confirmed with the volume up that Jason was goofing around. It was a wild few years with that crazy kid haunting our devices. My family still has that radio out, just in case, but it hasn't turned on in years. My sister is now well into her 30s. I know this will be met with a lot of scepticism. Even I was very sceptical until I was able to meet him myself. However, I think it's finally time to share this and to answer questions people might have about it. So what you got? Ask me anything. Edit. Some FAQs. Does my family still live in the house? Yes, they do. My mum and sister are around. There has been no communication or experiences from Jason or the father since my sister turned 28. You realise Jason is a demon, stroke lying spirit, stroke malevolent entity sent to trick you, right? Maybe. We haven't ruled that out, but it felt pretty chill. Yes, I get that could be part of it. How did the parents die? It's unclear to us too. I wish we'd found more info. Why didn't you record it? Oh, we tried. Electronic recording was interfered with, or there was a glitch every single time. Jason didn't want to be recorded. Camcorders glitched. Phone video didn't save or seemed to be immediately deleted. Even audio recordings didn't work around the radio when he was active.
Hi, this is Kim and Penn Holderness from the Laugh Lines podcast. Boost Mobile offers the same nationwide coverage, network speed, and service consumers are used to, but at more affordable prices. Why pay more if you don't have to?
Boost Mobile offering reliable nationwide coverage backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Love your service or get your money back, no questions asked.
While other carriers blow millions on Super Bowl ads, we put that money to work for you, delivering reliable 99% nationwide coverage at affordable prices.
Start saving on wireless today with Boost Mobile's unlimited plans starting at just $25 a month.
The Boost Mobile network, together with their roaming partners, cover 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds not available in all areas.
Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store or find us online at boostmobile.com.
Customers who cancel within 30 days of activation will have Boost service fees refunded. Activation fees, if applicable, and phone payments will not be refunded.
Hey folks, it's Mark Marin from WTF. Today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile, offering reliable nationwide coverage backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Love your service or get your money back, no questions asked. Boost Mobile offers the coverage, network speed, and service you're used to, but at more affordable prices. Why pay more if you don't have to? You can get an unlimited plan for $25 a month that will never increase in price, ever. No price hikes, no multi-line requirements, no stress. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store or find them online at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 per month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
I found this so interesting, this story, particularly as we are now in spooky season and people are inclined to try and communicate with the dead, trying out a bit of necromancy. I'm probably going to do it myself, as it is the time of year. The veil is thinning. I often say that to the kids in October, and they just roll their eyes or join in. I really wanted to know what the significance of the sister's 28th birthday was as well. And why did all of the activity just suddenly stop when she reached 28? Of course, as the reader said in the facts, it could have been a demon, but it sounds unlikely if they just kind of stopped what they were doing and disappeared when they said they would. Not unless there's going to be more to this story. I'll keep an eye out and we'll find out. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we will catch up with you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
Hi, this is Paige DeSorbo, and today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile. So you're thinking about upgrading to the amazing new iPhone 17 Pro, the most powerful iPhone yet with 8 times optical zoom, but Are you also thinking about the traffic on your way to the store or transferring all your data? Well, good news. When you order a new iPhone online with Boost Mobile, they'll send an expert to your home or work to deliver your brand new iPhone 17 Pro and get you all set up on Boost Mobile within minutes. No hassle. Visit boostmobile.com to get started. Delivery available for select devices purchased at boostmobile.com. Terms apply.
AI is transforming customer service. It's real and it works. And with Finn, we've built the #1 AI agent for customer service. We're seeing lots of cases where it's solving up to 90% of real queries for real businesses. This includes the real-world complex stuff like issuing a refund or cancelling an order. And we also see it when Finn goes up against competitors. It's top of all the performance benchmarks, top of the G2 leaderboard, and if you're not happy, we'll refund you up to $1 million, which I think says it all. Check it out for yourself at fin.ai.
For 25 years, Brightview Senior Living Associates have been committed to creating a vibrant culture and delivering exceptional services, making Brightview a great place to work and live. If you're looking for a rewarding opportunity to serve your local community and grow, we want you to join our team. Brightview Senior Living is growing and actively seeking vibrant associates to join our community teams, including directors, healthcare, activities, hospitality, and dining. Apply today at careers.brightviewseniorliving.com. Equal employment opportunities. Text BV Jobs to 97211 to apply.
And Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.